Welcome to another episode of WFAN Daily with your host, Pete Hoffman. I'm going to be joined in a second by a very special guest. I have been loving these UFC fights on Paramount Plus. The numbers have been fantastic so far within UFC 324, 325, and now we have UFC Fight Night 266, Bautista versus Oliveira. And I'm bringing in the bantamweight himself, Mario Bautista. Thank you so much, Mario, for hopping on with me for a few minutes. I appreciate it. How's everything going?
Not a problem. Thank you for having me. Everything's going good. We just got here for the beginning of fight week and getting ready for this fight Saturday night.
And I know it's a little early in the fight week, but for you, being the main event, how has this week changed for you?
Uh, it- you know, Not a whole lot has changed. It's still kind of the same process. There is a little bit of a different feeling. This is new to me. This is my first main event, my first 5 round fight. Um, just settling in right now. But as far as preparation, it's about making the weight right now, and nothing's really changed.
And it's still early in the process. You get away in on Friday and stuff like that. So there's still plenty of cutting and whatnot. How are you right now, mentally, physically, with the weight cut? Is everything going well as expected?
Oh, everything is going great. This is, one of the best camps I've ever had. As my first attempt at 5 rounds too. So I feel great leading into this week. Everything's on point, and yeah, I can't wait.
What's going to change? I mean, first of all, a 5 round fight. Do you expect to go in there all 5 rounds, or do you want this thing to finish earlier?
I know ideally if we can get it done in the first round, that's always the best, right? But I am mentally and physically prepared to go 5 rounds, and I proved it to myself this camp. So if it needs to go 5 rounds, I could definitely do it.
What do you do to change to get it to go to help with that stamina to give you those two extra rounds?
I kind of followed the blueprint um, that was set by a man, Benson Henderson, at our gym. M- to me, he's the king of 5 rounders. He went to a lot of decisions, but he can definitely get himself ready for it. So I kind of followed his blueprint. And what he does is he just does those 5 rounds throughout the whole camp. He'll just get it done no matter how he's feeling. And then by the end of it, he's primed and ready to go. And that's exactly how I feel.
And you're fighting at the Apex now. It's called the Meta Apex. So you have a very comfortable feel there because what this is going to be the sixth fight, I believe, that you've fought there. Does it feel like a home away from home?
It definitely does. My training partner, my coach, Bulldog, he used to call me the champ of the Apex. So uh, it does feel like home. I know exactly where everything's at. This exact same hotel I've been at before. Um, and so I feel comfortable here and ready to go. It's a lot better than Abu Dhabi, that's for sure.
I can only imagine. But now tell me about though we've seen that you've actually seen the Apex build a little bit because now they actually do invite and have allow fans and whatnot. But you were there during COVID where there was nobody. I mean, take me through the process of when you were basically fighting there, and it was basically everyone heard your coaches, and now you're actually hearing a little bit more of a crowd. Has it changed over the years of the Apex?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So my first time fighting there during COVID, no one's there, right? Your next fight, they have like a few bleachers set up, a few people there, and slowly, you start getting this little crowd. And it's been, I think, about 2 years since I fought there. I think I fought Ricky Simone there last time. But I recently went to a jiu-jitsu match there, and they can pack that place, and they can get a little crowd going. So maybe there might not be too much of a difference whether you're in an arena or there. They get pretty loud.
I love it, and I mean I've only unfortunately been to a handful of fights. I've been to plenty of pay per views and whatnot, but to have that experience right next to the cage, I mean it is one that I tell people you have to try if you can experience it. It's one that it's unbelievable. Um, so I'm excited to see how this Apex is going to look now that it's packed. But let's rewind a little bit too, because some of these fights you've been in some battles, you've been in some, you're 16-3 right now. You have had the bantamweight division is one of my favorite divisions of all time. Some of my favorite fighters, Cody Garbrandt's been there. You unfortunately weren't able to fight him; he had to pull out. But Take me through the gauntlet of fighters that you've faced to now go up against and headline versus Oliveira.
Yeah, I've definitely in my career in the UFC have taken the hard way. I'm not like a crazy guy on the mic. I don't go out there gun slinging. So I've had to crawl and climb to the very top. So I fought a lot of people. Went on that 8 fight win streak with which is very rare to do or very hard to do in this division. And not a lot of people have done that. So I fought a bunch of styles, uh, a lot of hype uh, behind people. It's like Patchy Mix, Jose Aldo. I had to deal with that backlash with Jose Aldo. I feel like I fought one of the best fighters in the world in Umar. So it's just all been good experience for me.
You talk about Patchy Mix, and he's somebody that had a lot of hype after he left. Was he Bellator? Was he PFL? Wherever he left, he came to the UFC. There was a lot of hype behind him, and you beat him, and now you're headlining fights in UFC, and he is now outside of the UFC. Take me through that. Like, I mean, do you look back and go, "Wow, if I lost to Patchy, would I have been on the outside?"
Yeah, no, that was definitely a crazy time. Um, I believe I was scheduled to fight Cheeto, right? And then 4 weeks out, Cheeto gets hurt and they replace him with Patchy, and they just all the hype behind Patchy, all the highlight reels I had to see leading up to that fight, um, and the high expectations they had for him. Um, it was pretty crazy, and I was dealing with my own issues going into that fight. I had a rib injury, so pretty intense, but came out on top. Things worked out great for me and not so much for him. Then he had a second stint in the UFC or fight in the UFC, and and now he's cut from the UFC. So yeah, that's just the way the business goes.
Yeah, the business is not graceful for a lot of people, but so that just is a credit to you for your staying power. I mean, you've been here since 2019. I mean, you lost your first fight in Brooklyn, which I was at. It was amazing. It was an ESPN fight. I remember it. I remember that whole night. It was the first time, like, debuting ESPN. Now it's 3 cards later, but this is only the third fight on Paramount Plus. So there has been a world of fights in between. But the staying power that you've had in the UFC, there's got to be a tip of the cap to you. No.
Yeah, definitely. Because right, in this business, you lose your first 2 fights, you're cut. Anything can happen. You could miss weight or do something, kind of dumb. But I kind of pride myself in that, just being a consistent hard worker, and that's all I am. And I stuck to it, and it's gotten me to this point.
Mario Bautista, let's take away from the fights for a second. Let's think about, you know, it is fight week, but you need to wind down a little bit. You can't be all like engaged 24/7 and what's going on here. So give me something that you do to be able just to pass the time a little bit, to like just relax and chill.
Right here in fight week, it's funny. We always kind of put on it's either South Park if it's on, or it's either that or Forensic Files for some reason. That's always
Forensic Files.
Forensic Files. I don't know. I can't tell you, but we're just sitting there relaxing, just always like looking up, scrolling, just like, dang, he did what? Man, that's crazy. Like, so yeah, we just like to chill. You wish you could do more, but you're just kind of tired all the time. And it's unfortunate. I wish someone would bring me out here to corner them. I'd be out, eating all the best foods and whatnot. So, but it's a little bit different when you're here in camp.
What are you looking forward to most? What's the first thing you're going to eat when you do make weight and you're able to start to put food back in your system? What's the first thing?
I'm gonna have to go with a big juicy burger. That's gonna be the
Wow.
first thing. Burger, and then something about like a pizza and a Coke for some. I don't know. That's just I'm craving that for some reason.
Dude, so I've been
Pepperoni pizza.
pepperoni pizza. All right, my kid would be very two thumbs up on that one. Funny enough, so we live in New York, obviously, and like pizza is like a thing everywhere you go. There's who's got the best type of pizzas. Is there really great pizza in Vegas?
Uh I'm pretty sure we could find some. I don't need anything too crazy. I have always heard that though. Every time I've gone to New York, they've always said like, "Go try the pizza. Make sure you try the pizza." I've been there once, and I'm upset that I did not get to try the pizza
Are
because.
you kidding me? Like that's the one thing you're supposed to do.
So that's the thing, right? So you were there for that fight when
Yeah,
I lost to Sanhagen. We leave, and it's like midnight or 1 in the morning.
yeah.
Everything's closed. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, if this was Vegas, everything would still be open. But that was,
Oh, so you're saying that New York is a lie because supposedly we're the city that never sleeps,
yeah,
but
they were
but,
they
but
were
they do close
definitely
down once.
sleeping.
Well, you were in Brooklyn. You got to come to MSG next time because, dude, I'm telling you right now, there's plenty of pizzerias in the area that you can go and get. And I'll tell you that if you need it, I'll find it for you. There's some amazing pizzerias, and the burgers I'm sure are fine in Vegas too. But regardless, burgers, pizza, forensic files. What else do you like to do? Because now you got me. I love documentaries, so I'm all about that crap. What is like a big documentary that you're into right now, or that you want to go see?
Oh man. So I usually try to keep up with the ones on Netflix. Um I think the last one I seen, it's kind of sad, but it's always like forensic file kind of feel. It's that the lady in Utah that, those held the kids captive. And she was kind of like starting this kind of cult kind of thing with this family, and it gets pretty crazy. Those are definitely interesting to me. So
Yeah,
I
they're
don't know why.
terrible. They're
Yeah.
terrible, but they're great to watch. I mean, they're it's awful real life stuff, but the Netflix documentaries have been really good lately. I haven't watched that one. I have a pause on that, but I'm going to watch it. I've watched a lot of like the girl in the picture, all that type of stuff. There's been some amazing documentaries, so I'm always looking for new ones. So I'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the fight though, because you do have a tough opponent in front of you. Give me a little bit about Oliveira that you think that like that gives you a great chance and opportunity to win and move up in the rankings in the bantamweight division.
Yeah, no, I think a great win over Vinicious, sorry, I want to call him Vinny.
Yeah,
Um,
Vinny's fine.
you know, I, I think it just being a 5 round fight, I got this main event opportunity. I think the company wants to see what either me or him can do to move forward. Um, and so I think that's why, they put us in this spot. And he's a great opponent. He brings the heat. He comes forward. Um, but I also think I could use that to my advantage. He kind of lives by the sword, dies by the sword kind of fighter. So I'm looking to make that happen Saturday night.
And now, if with a win, do you expect to crack the top five? Is that kind of where you're aiming after a fight on Saturday night?
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to get myself back to that spot where I was. Say I did beat Umar. I want to be in that spot or right back where I was, where I got that opportunity against Umar. So somewhere in the top five. That's where I'd like to be. And you know, talking about that Sandhagen fight, I think that'd be a great start right there. I don't want to go too crazy and say I want the champ. I want to deserve it, and I would like to, get that redemption on the way.
What is there one fighter that you wish you had an opportunity to fight that's kind of out of the sport now? Somebody that you would have loved to share the cage with?
I really look at that Cody Garbrandt fight. That one, I was looking forward to that one quite a bit. He's a great fighter. He's a champion. Um, so I wish I would have got that one.
When you were growing up, was that like the earlier? Who were the guys that you really looked up to when you were just starting to get interested in MMA and UFC and stuff like that? Was it guys like the Jose Aldos of the world, or who exactly were you focused on paying attention to the most?
So when I started watching it, I kind of go back a little bit farther than that, right? I was really young. I liked Tito Ortiz because he had those flaming shorts.
Of course.
And then the older I got, it was GSP. I love the way he fought. I loved watching BJ Penn. And then I didn't even know they had like 45ers and 35ers fighting out there until I seen the WEC. And I think I seen it was Dominic Cruz versus I think Brian Bowles or something, and just seeing those guys move that fast and Dominic having his style, that's when I started watching the smaller division. So Dominic, Demetrius, Jose Aldo, all those guys. I really looked up to them.
Now, we have this fight on Paramount Plus, as we're saying. Again, it's a main event for you. It's the first time you're main eventing. Is there any extra nerves walking into that cage, you think, on Saturday night, or is it going to be? And now, listen, the one thing that's changed with Paramount Plus is the times have changed. Now, I don't know if that's going to feel so much different to you, but it is a main event, so you're kind of walking out there at a different time. Is there different jitters because this is a main event?
No, I don't. I'm not really feeling the jitters, because I'm pretty confident because of the camp that I had, and the amount of work that I did in preparation and the rounds that I had, So I feel pretty confident leading into this. And then as far as like the time, I think with Paramount, they kind of made everything a little bit earlier, right? So uh say when I fought Patchy, I'm probably going to be fighting the same time like I fought Patchy, since it's a little bit earlier. So they say I'm fighting 7:30 Vegas time, somewhere around there. So that's not too late for me. If it would have been any other card before Paramount, it probably would have been 11 p.m. or something like that. So
Yeah, and trust me, on the West Coast, I mean, on the East Coast, 11 p.m. your time, it's like, 1, 2 a.m. on my time. So it's like it's a whole different world. And you get like, is it cool to you? Are you excited about this move to Paramount Plus at all? Does it even affect you at all? Because think about this. I don't know what the numbers were for the last card for UFC 325, but for 324, there was 1 million new subscribers after that first fight. So I can only imagine every fight is getting bigger and bigger, and there's more eyes on you. So I mean, it's a big deal.
yeah, no, it definitely brings more eyes to the sport. You're not having to pay for that pay-per-view. Um, and they're able to have pay-per-views back to back. Imagine having to spend $160 in 2 weeks or even more. You gotta probably host the place too. So probably like 250 in 2 weeks. So it definitely makes it easier for just your more casual fans to kind of get into the sport, and makes it exciting. Makes me want to go out there and put on a show, for the new people.
And the bonuses I hear have gone a little bit up a little bit
Oof.
more, so that definitely, whether it's fight of the night, knockout, finish of the night, I'm sure you're salivating all over all that stuff now.
Yeah, if you got performance or fight of the night, it's 100, an extra 100K. And the nice part is too is like even if you did get finished, but someone did like a 360 whatever spinning heel kick and they got it, but you got a rear naked submission, at least you get 25K too. So that's, I guess, a plus.
There's a lot of pluses, and Paramount Plus is where it's at this Saturday night. 8 o'clock Eastern time is the main event. That's when it starts. UFC two Fight Night 266. I'm excited, Mario. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it. One last message to the fans to get us pumped up for Saturday night. What do you got?
You guys tune in Saturday night. It's going to be two guys, two pressure fighters. Something's got to break, so make sure you tune in.
Boom. I love it. Thank you so much, Mario. I appreciate the time. I'm looking forward to you on Saturday night, man.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.